First things first, if you're going to install baseboards before installing the floor, you have to make sure you have the proper gap to allow the flooring to get tucked in under the baseboards. This should seem obvious, but, well, if you make the gap under the baseboards too small for the flooring to fit, then a hammer and a wonder bar might be the only tools to get you to the end of your flooring install job. So once you've got the baseboards in, the gap correct, and everything painted, it's time to install the floor. Let's get to it. Pretty much any breathing monkey can install flooring in a room with baseboards installed on the wall where the flooring starts and perpendicular walls. The trouble is on the row where the last row of flooring is installed. This is not covered in the installation instructions. What do we do here? Click-together vinyl flooring is pretty tough stuff. One of the biggest installation benefits, however, is its slight flexibility. Flexibility which we'll be using to our advantage. It isn't truly necessary to bring each subsequent row into each preceding row at a dramatic angle, which the instructions indicate to be necessary. This is not what you want to do. So no, to get those last pieces into place, you don't bring it in at an angle and then smash it with a hammer. That's just stupid. Now I will say this is not my normal format. I like to show action in my videos. However, with a little imagination on your part, now you have one way to install that last row. The trick is to slide the last piece under the baseboard on the last row wall. Then slide it under the baseboard on the perpendicular wall. And then pull it back into place where the click-together grooves line up. Those first 3 steps are accomplished using your fingers. The next step, however, is accomplished using a long piece of scrap wood, say 18 to 24 inches, with a second smaller piece of scrap attached to one end. This smaller piece of scrap is installed in such a way as to serve as a striking point for a hammer. Then, shockingly, you'll need a hammer. And then, not surprisingly, you'll need a roll of carpet tape. The light-duty kind will do just fine. We'll call this assembly your floor installation tool, and the shtick goes like this. You wrap one end of your floor installation tool with carpet tape. Then remove the wax paper from the tape so that you have a sticky surface on the end of your tool. You then use that sticky surface to attach the tool to the last piece of floor, which has been waiting patiently for you. After checking one last time to make sure that the click-together grooves are lined up, you press down on the sticky end of the floor installation tool. Then you take a hammer and hit the striking surface of the tool so as to draw the click-together grooves tight. Successfully forcing the flooring together in this way is more a matter of technique than power. So don't be getting out the mini sledge if your first hit doesn't result in the perfect joint. Just keep hitting the tool until either the adhesive on the carpet tape allows the tool to start sliding, at which point you add more carpet tape to the floor side, or until each section of the floor joint is perfect. Then you move the tool a few inches, add new tape, and repeat the process. It's not fast, but it makes for a really nice result if you can be patient. But what about the next piece? The piece whose end overlaps the piece which is just installed. The technique is really similar. Line up the overlapping ends and slide the next piece under the baseboard. Next, using the same floor installation tool, you pull the flooring piece into place. Then you tap or roll the overlapping end into place until it is tight. As for the last piece, which has an overlapping end and tucks under baseboards on 2 walls, is it hard? Nope. Start by putting the baseboard end of the flooring under the first baseboard at an angle. Then, slide the long edge of the flooring under the other baseboard, straightening the flooring piece into place. Then, line up the overlapping end, use the floor installation tool to pull the last piece into place, and tap the overlapping end until it is tight. And then, your room is done! Remember how the walls are already painted? Right! The flexibility of the product should be a huge consideration if you're using this method. When I originally posted this video, one viewer came back and shared it does not work well with Coralux from LL Flooring. If there are any other types that do not work well, please come back and add it to the comments to save someone else's sanity. If this method does not work for you, it might be possible to only remove the last wall of baseboard. But it's important to know up front if you can still match the baseboard with a new stick if it breaks. It's worth considering to minimize damage and work on the back end of the project. If you do find a better way, please add it to the comments for other fellow DIYers.